Hello and welcome to this episode of Math with Martinez. In today's video, we are going to be looking more at our square root functions and their graphs. We've already reviewed what square root functions are, specifically that parent function. That parent function is always the function that we're going to be discussing as our reference graph. That parent function, it starts here with an endpoint at 0, 0, and then it goes up and to the right. Being such that it goes up and to the right, our domain, our x value is greater than 0, because remember our x-axis, those values to the right on the x-axis are positive or greater than 0. And our range is y values greater than 0 because this graph starts at 0 and goes upward. If you're reading all these values, it's going upward. So that's beginning at 0 and moving up. The end behavior, if you're looking at this end of your graph, well, it keeps going forever to infinity. And it's going up. So as x approaches infinity, f of x approaches infinity. And in the other end of our graph, that's right here, as x approaches 0, the height, or the f of x, again, that's the height of your graph. What is it approaching a height of? That's reading our graph up and down. What height is it approaching? A height of 0. This graph is always increasing. So beginning at 0, at our x value of 0 and moving to infinity, it's always increasing, but never decreasing. That is true of our parent function. But there are a whole lot more in this family of square root functions than just that one graph. And every other function is called a transformation. It's called a transformation of the parent function. And so what causes these transformations are these a, h, and k values. Sometimes you'll see that this h, they could also call it a c, or they could call this k a d. That is sometimes the case, but we are going to mostly use h and k. So h, what is h going to do? If you include, notice that where that h is located, it is inside the radical, and it's this amount that's going to be added or subtracted to the x. That's going to cause a horizontal shift. If what you're doing is adding some value to your x, then it's going to shift left that amount. But if instead you're subtracting, it's going to shift to the right. At the end of your function, after the radical, if what you have is something like this k value being added or subtracted, that's going to cause a vertical shift. If you have plus some k value, that's going to shift it up. Minus will shift it in the other direction, down. And the end point, that point where our graph is like getting started and going out from, is going to be that point h, k, which might feel familiar to you from vertex form when we were working with our quadratic equations. And that is true. That is your h and your k, your horizontal component and your vertical component of where that key point is located. Now, I've also got highlighted here in pink the a value. Now, if there's something in front of your square root, like a negative, if that a value is negative, then what's going to happen is called a reflection. It's a reflection across your x-axis that will occur. And if your a is some absolute value of it is some value greater than 1, like if I would have had a 4 or even a -3, or a like a 7 or a -1.5. These are all examples of values of A whose absolute value is greater than 1. Then what we'll have there is called a vertical stretch. Whereas if your absolute value of A is between 0 and 1, take, for example, 1/2 or -1/3 or 0.5, let me do a different one, 0.25, any of those values represent values of A that will cause a vertical compression. So with that in mind, let's begin to describe the transformations of each of these functions compared to the parent function. So we're going to be comparing what will happen here because of those A, H, and K values. All right, so for example, number 1, we have some values. Do you see how this function is very different from our previous function? Let's take a moment to highlight, and please use the colors that I am using. Let's look at where that 7 is. It's inside the radical. So that is our H value. What is that going to cause to happen to our parent function graph? Because it is a -7, that's going to cause it to move to the right 7 units. And then we've got this value here at the end. So that's that part of it. Then we've got this value here after that square root. What is that going to do to our graph? That +2 at the end is causing a vertical shift. And because it is plus, it's going to be up 2. So there you have it. Those are the transformations for example number 1. How about example number 2? What is going to happen because of this value in front of our square root? Look at that value. What is going to happen there? Because of that 4 in front, we are going to have a vertical stretch. It's a vertical stretch, really by a multiple of 4. And then we've got this other component here. We've got this value that is outside after the square root. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to cause a different kind of transformation. What is that going to be? It is a vertical shift, and it's going to be a vertical shift down 1 unit. I can just put down 1. All right, now what about example number 3? Example number 3, what do we have here? Because of this negative that is out front, what is going to happen to our graph? Well, just like we said above, if that A value, that is our A value, is negative, it's going to be a reflection. It's going to be a reflection across the x-axis. Like we said, right here. And then that 3, what kind of transformation is that 3 going to have that's inside of our radical? It's inside, which causes a horizontal shift. This is going to be a horizontal shift to the right 3 units. And last but not least, let's go ahead and look at this example number 4. The 1/2. What is that going to cause for a transformation of our graph? That 1/2 is going to be a compression. It's going to be compressing vertically. In half. So half the height. And what about the 2? What effect is that 2 going to have that's inside? I should say -2. That -2 inside, what is that going to do? That -2 is going to cause a horizontal shift because it's minus, it's going to be right 2 units. That endpoint is going to move right 2 units and every other point as well. And then last but not least, we have this 6, this -6 at the end. What is that going to do? What kind of transformation is that going to result in? That's going to take it down 6 units. So to wrap it up here, I want to ask something a little bit differently. What if instead of given the function equation, we're given the description? And we're going to actually, like it says, write the equation. Let's begin to interpret this. Our square root parent function is reflected across the x-axis. Which color did we use for that? Reflected across the x-axis? That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be because our a value is negative. So let's make a little note to ourselves. Let's make a little note to ourselves that we're going to have a is negative. And then it says it shifted 7 units left. Left is a horizontal. Shifted 7 units to the left. And then it says 1 unit down. That's a vertical movement. So let's begin to write this in. We're going to write our function, f of x. We know that it needs to reflect across the x-axis, so that's going to be a negative a value, a negative in front of our square root. To get it to shift to the left, if I want it to shift left, then I need to make sure that I am adding that amount. I need to be adding inside that 7. And then last of all, if I want it to move down, that's my k value that I will subtract here at the end. So this, ladies and gentlemen, represents our function equation. F of x equals negative square root of x plus 7 minus 1. That minus 1 is outside of our radical. And that is it for this video, y'all. If you had any questions, would you please take a moment to share those now? And until next time, stay fired up.